Hello and welcome to Live and Let's Discuss. I'm Jeremy,
I'm Noah.
and we're going to talk about the beginning of the Brosnan era, Noah's favorite era.
Yeah, this is going to be a special episode. My most controversial take yet.
Oh, yeah, I know what your take is because So, like with the last one, we're not going to get into the novelization too much. If you want our opinions on the two John Gardner novelizations, check out the Paper Movies podcast. We've both been on there and we both reviewed those, as well as the first Raymond Benson novelization, Tomorrow Never Dies.
hmm But I mean, there isn't much we could say here with Goldeneye because the novelization is literally just the script in book form.
The only thing that it adds is it gives a little more explanation to why M is a woman now,
Yeah.
and a little bit about the friction between Bond and M,
hmm
but not much.
Yeah.
So the story goes they wanted Brosnan back during the pre-production of Living Daylights. He was on a TV show and he could not break contract. So after the Soviet Union fell and they didn't know what to do with Bond, there were some lawsuits going on. A lot of nonsense. They finally get Goldeneye off the ground and they get Brosnan to be Bond. Because Dalton was done by that point.
hmm
Because there was a good chance there would have never been a Bond movie again. So we get the most Russian Bond movie yet.
Yeah.
Goldeneye is a very strange movie. It's a strange movie that I'm very nostalgic for,
Mhm.
but it has big issues with it. It opens with back during the Cold War, 007 and 008 team up to stop it's a Soviet missile silo or some sort of weapons cache.
Isn't he
Uh,
006?
is 006? Yes, it's 006.
Hmm.
Alex
008 is the guy who always gets killed.
That's right. Sorry, that's why I was thinking double A.
hmm
006 Alex Trevelyan.
hmm
Um Alec Trevelyan, something like that.
hmm
Um they they team up to stop this it's a super weapon, whatever it is. It's gonna end the world or whatever. Alex is allegedly killed. Bond escapes and blows up the big weapon, and we go into Tina Turner, Goldeneye, which is the only good piece of music in this whole movie. This
Yep.
movie's score is the most bizarre score of any Bond movie. It's so weird.
hmm
It's like funky techno? I don't know what to call it other than French. It just feels really French.
Remember when he's driving early on? That scene with like the woman, and there's like this techno fart music.
Yeah, you know what they call that track on the soundtrack? Ladies First.
Ugh,
It
genius.
sounds like porno music.
hmm
That's the only time
It
Bond
sounds
tries
like
the Aston
Jeremy.
Martin.
It reminds me. It sounds like the score from California Big Hunks.
Yes! Again, porno music.
hmm
Gosh. Ugh.
They got the same composer. That's his big break in Hollywood.
So bad. Um, but Cold War's over, which is a big theme of this, although we're in Russia for this film for a lot of it,
Hmm.
and we're just gonna spoil it because I think everyone knows it at this point. 006 is bad. He's the big bad of this movie. He's working with a weird sadist nymphomaniac and a former Russian colonel
Mhm.
to steal the satellites to destroy the world so they'll get money.
Great plan.
That's the plan of it. I have a lot. It's so far fetched, but I think this movie gets a lot of forgiveness,
Mm,
and I have two reasons for it. Number one, the video game.
exactly.
The video game is why people of my generation love Goldeneye. They don't even
Mhm.
remember the movie; they just remember playing the game.
Yeah.
The other thing is that this was a breath of fresh air after License to Kill was so violent.
Mm.
Because this does everything opposite of License to Kill without getting too Roger Moore.
Yeah, but the result is
Well, the big
not.
problem is Brosnan hasn't found his step yet.
You can
He's
call it
the
that. Yeah.
weak part of this. This is the only time I'm going to say this with his movies. This is where he's the weakest link.
Mhm.
Because by
Yeah,
the
I
time he
don't.
gets the next film, he's significantly better than this. It's
Yeah, I guess. But for me, so yeah, I would agree he gets better with each movie. Maybe not Die Another Day because it's Die Another Day, but yeah, he does get more comfortable in the role.
Mhm.
Goldeneye is the worst first performance of any Bond actor to me. I
Yes.
legitimately think he is worse than Lazenby because Lazenby wasn't an actor, he was just a model. He did, by comparison, a phenomenal job because Brosnan in this feels like a model photo come to life.
He, what it feels like he's doing a Dalton thing
Hmm.
for a lot of it. He's trying to be like Dalton.
He's
And
trying to be like every Bond. Like, it wasn't that like how they marketed him? Like, he's the best of all Bond actors. He has all of it combined in one.
I
I
watched an
know that's what his
interview with
fans say.
him that was from like this year, last year or this year, and he said he tried to find balance between Sean Connery and Roger Moore.
Hmm.
He
Okay.
wanted to be an amalgamation of both their positives.
Hmm.
That's what we always try to strive for. But this, it just feels like the Dalton script. You can blatantly see it. Like they just wanted a cold killer, and he's gunning down people left and right in this. This might be the most gunning down yet.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like with the whole theme of like Cold War is over, you're a relic of an older time.
Mhm.
And he looks like a young, fresh faced 90s douchebag model guy.
Because this is right around the Mrs. Doubtfire era where he played a giant douchebag. Like his physique is exactly the same.
Yeah, and he just doesn't look like I imagine like Dalton in this. Let's say this was made like somewhat shortly after License to Kill, this exact script.
Mhm.
Just imagine Dalton in most of these scenes, especially like the emotional ones where he really has to act. It's
Yes.
like, ooh, that would be a great film.
Well,
Like
Dalton's the
immediately enhanced.
best actor that ever played Bond.
Mhm.
And that you got to factor that in with Brosnan because he's nowhere near the caliber of actor Dalton. Dalton's a Shakespearean actor. He's like the only one of them that was.
Mm. But with Brosnan, it's so weird because to me, it's like when people say, "Oh, he's like all charismatic and stuff," you know. I just, especially in this one, I don't see it. Like, I can see the attempt of him to be like the cool guy, but it just comes across like clunky. Like he's trying to be charismatic and charming.
For me,
He's not naturally
it's
like Connery or
50-50.
Moore. Mm,
It's 50-50 in this. for instance, the casino stuff, which is in the Casino Royale,
Hmm.
it's a callback. Well, I mean, it's a callback to really Doctor No. I think is what they're trying to reference, but it feels more like a callback to the novel Casino Royale.
Hmm.
Um, that feels forced, but I will say, despite horrible porno music, I do enjoy the race.
Hmm.
That's also because I like watching the Aston Martin. It's the only time we get to see it
Is it in the era or in this movie?
in this movie.
In the okay.
Because
Yeah,
now
but
we this is the BMW era, your favorite, your people's car.
yeah,
Well, the
but this.
Volkswagen's the people's car, but it is the German car. What is
Mhm.
your opinion on the Volkswagens? I not the Volkswagens. Volkswagens are terrible cars. What is your opinion of the BMWs, the Bond movies?
They're fine, I guess.
I
That's
hate
my take on it.
I hate them.
Mhm.
So the big thing
But
with the BMWs is that Brosnan got the cars at the end of the movies. BMW would give him cars, and I think that's why they kept getting them
mm,
because he got pulled over when he was filming Dante's Peak, which came out after this movie. That was his next film, and he got pulled over by highway patrol here in America going like 110 in his BMW. And they're like, "Is this the Goldeneye car?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he didn't get a ticket.
that's okay. That's great. But yeah, talking about the classic Bond car, being in this, the DB5. Is this? I mean, that's a wider discussion about the DB5 returning in the later movies.
Mhm.
Is it good in this one? Let's not talk about the whole era because I think Brosnan still has it in the next ones as like his personal car.
Yeah, it replaces what the Bentley was in the Connery films.
Mhm. Yeah. So you would agree it's fine in this one for him to have the old DB5 back.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're bringing up because in Skyfall,
Yeah.
when Bond has the DB5, it makes zero sense because that's a
Yeah.
reboot.
Yeah, because it's a reboot. And because we are so far and one, because we're so far into the future where the DB5 just I don't know. It does come across as fan service.
Yeah,
I get it in this case because it has been so long since a Bond movie. You want to bring the fans back in. You show the classic car once here. That's fine. But I'm just thinking it's more a case with the Craig movies. It loses its magic if you bring it back
well,
every movie.
part of why it works in Goldeneye is they don't put it through the paces.
Hmm.
They use it as a car. It's not like you're shooting missiles using the ejector seat or
Okay.
blowing smoke or a laser comes out of it, what have you. Whatever they feel like having in the Aston Martin this time around.
In No Time to Die.
Well, that's when the miniguns come out, which I don't think ever existed before that film.
Hmm. Were they in Skyfall?
No, it was a different machine gun. It was like a 30 caliber machine gun, which is what's in it in Goldfinger, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
I can't remember if the guns come out in Goldfinger. The big thing in that is the ejector seat, which is so funny. Even the Lego has the ejector seat built in.
Hmm.
But anyway, I the only gadget they use on it is the ice box in the glove compartment, not the glove compartment, in the center console.
Hmm.
As he
Have you heard the?
seduces his driving teacher, which I do like that. That feels very Bond and it works. That's him
Yeah.
doing his more.
Oh, definitely. That scene is fine. That's good.
Yeah.
Have you heard the theory that this is like he's getting evaluated because of going rogue? years prior. Like they still have to test him, and this was supposed to be like connecting tissue.
I've heard that. What I think it is the M doesn't think there's a use for him,
Yeah.
and that's why he's being evaluated, which they go into more in the novelization with how
Mhm.
M retired and now we have a new M.
Which I want to point out, in the Brosnan era, in the movies, she doesn't get a name. In the novelizations by Benson, at least, she does.
She has a name in John Gardner, and I think it's the same.
It's the same. He already. Okay, I didn't remember if he mentioned her name.
Yeah, because I think she's also in the last Gardner book too. I think she's in Cold.
Oh, yeah, because they're trying to do like a big connection stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's in that too.
Yeah, because I think I mentioned this to you in private, how the Benson books pretend both the Brosnan movies, like they are canon to the book universe, which is the
Yes,
Fleming
because they had
universe,
to be.
Gardner, yeah, the Fleming, Gardner, and Benson universe, and Colonel Sun is also in there.
Yes, they were directed to do. Benson was directed to do that.
Mm.
I think just to maintain things, because Gardner sometimes did, sometimes didn't. We'll talk more about that when we get into the Raymond Benson stuff,
Hmm.
because his stuff's worth more mention than Gardner's novelizations are. Because Gardner's novelizations are just meh; they're very mediocre.
Yeah.
Um, we haven't talked about our Bond girl, who I don't remember the name of.
Natalia,
Yes, the hacker. That hacker.
the guy, the famous guy.
I am invincible. Him. They're working at satellite base, and then our former Russian colonel and the nymphomaniac Anya on the top.
Jean Grey.
That's right. Yes, doing a horrible Russian accent.
So many bad accents.
Oh yeah, yeah, very bad. Well, actually, we need to talk about she murdered a dude while having sex with him by crushing him with her thighs,
Hmm.
so they could steal a helicopter that has a cloaking device on it, so they can go to this one of the Goldeneye stations to blow it up and kill everyone there,
Hmm.
so that they can go to the other one in Cuba, so they could steal money.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's so dumb. It's shocking this movie's as fun as it is, because
Hmm.
with us explaining it, it sounds like the worst thing since A View to a Kill.
Yeah.
It's not.
I think I gotta give credit to Martin Campbell because I think the filmmaking kind of saves it. Because talking just about the story, it's dumb.
It's really dumb.
Like I've watched this movie like so many times. I still have no idea what the villain's motivation is because he has this whole thing of like Cold War. My parents got killed. I'm angry at England. I'm gonna rob the bank and destroy the country at the same time.
It literally feels like an amalgamation of the villain from the Moonraker novels, Drax's backstory, and the villain from Skyfall's backstory had a baby. And it's not a good baby. It's just
It's Sean Bean.
it's Sean Bean in the height of him playing a villain in literally everything.
Yeah.
He's the highlight of this movie.
Is he?
In my opinion, he should have been Bond. I don't get why he wasn't Bond. He has more charisma than Pierce Brosnan does in this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
He's the only one that looks like he's having fun.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, Pierce
Well,
Brosnan sometimes looks like he has fun. He just seems overwhelmed this whole movie.
Hmm.
This actor being overwhelmed, rolling around. There's a lot of Bond rolling. There's a lot of somersaulting and rolling. Um, the other highlight is Robbie Coltrane.
Oh yeah, he's really good. I
He's
can't say
wonderful
anything against him.
in this as the Russian arms dealer who
Hmm.
Bond has previously injured, and he hates Bond but reluctantly helps him. He also shows up in The World Is Not Enough, and it's like the only good part of that movie.
Yep. But don't forget, we also get the new Felix Leiter in this.
Oh, I hate the new Felix Leiter.
He's like only like so little above Sheriff J.W. Pepper.
Sheriff J.W. Pepper is more entertaining.
Hmm. What's his name? It's Whitaker from Living Daylights, the
It
villain
is
turned hero.
because we talked about this when we
I
recorded
legit don't remember his name. Wait,
something like that. Wade,
let's just call him Whitaker. That's more
yeah,
fun.
Good
But yeah,
Whitaker,
the good guy Whitaker.
Forrest Good Whitaker. Noah
Hmm.
hates me right now for that one, but
Oh well.
so he's the CIA contact. He sucks.
I think we have to mention this. I think they just didn't bring back Felix for the Brosnan era at all because License to Kill.
Yes.
And they were like, we're not gonna open that wound.
Mhm. So they got us someone that sucks, and we have him for 2 films
Hmm.
because he's in the next one too.
And then they realized like how that failed, and they brought back Robbie Coltrane.
Yes. Um. Yeah, I just want to talk about a few scenes because they're pretty much everyone and their mother has seen Goldeneye. I
Hmm.
wanted to talk about the tank scene where they
Okay.
destroy half of St. Petersburg. Is it Moscow or St. Petersburg? I can't remember which.
I think it's St. Peter. I don't think it's Moscow, but yeah, it's the city. Yeah.
They just annihilate. Bond just drives a tank through it and just wrecks half the city.
Hmm. Which is kind of fun, but in retrospect, it makes me angry how he doesn't destroy anything in Germany in Tomorrow Never Dies.
No, yeah, I don't know. They ripped a poster, didn't they?
Yeah, he
No, that
destroyed a
was in
car.
Vietnam.
He destroyed a car dealership in Hamburg.
That's right.
That was that's what I get when Bond is in my country, but the Russians they get their city destroyed, and that's just more fun.
Yeah. The other thing I want to bring up is the deaths in this movie
Hmm.
are so over the top that they're cartoonish.
Yes.
Um, on the top's death. Well, first of all, she and Bond have a fight, which in the book
Hmm.
involved his penis entering her.
We all remember that part of our discussion of the novelization back then.
You should check out the Goldeneye discussion on paper movies when I broke Adam.
Yeah, I think we all broke Adam because he came up with the question, "What was your favorite scene in this book that wasn't in the film?" And I was like, that scene. It is the most memorable part.
It is. It is. Uh, yeah, but Bond has his famous one-liner of it depends on what you call safe sex. As he puts a gun in her face.
Hmm.
Um, even Bond's introduction in the movie is terrible. The
Oh
book,
yeah, that's the worst. Oh.
well, he does the big jump with the bungee cord or whatever.
Oh yeah, this slow build up is really good before we see his face. But then that when we see it and he does the terrible pun. He's hanging upside down in a man's toilet
Stall in
in
the
a stall.
stall of a toilet.
Yeah, and he has this goofy smile and he's like, "Pardon, I forgot to knock." And then he knocks the guy out. And
Yeah,
I'm like, "Ooh,
in the book, he just straight up murders some people.
better introduction."
Yeah. before he jumps over jumps off the dam.
Mhm.
But yeah, Anya on the top's death, where she is shoved into a tree because she gets tangled up in a helicopter, and she climaxes as she dies.
It's supposed to be an ironic death because she uses sex as a weapon and the tree is in a certain shape.
Yes.
It's brilliant.
And then the I'm invincible guy gets covered in liquid nitrogen and
Oh yeah,
dies.
yeah. Invincible guy was pretty awesome.
We have the exploding pen.
Which they reference in Skyfall. We don't really do that anymore. That hmm, a dig at Goldeneye.
We get my personal favorite death of the whole movie is when Sean Bean falls to his death and he's somehow still alive. And
Yes, that
then
always makes me laugh.
the satellite falls on him and kills him.
Hmm.
Um, but I will say their fight scene is pretty great.
Hmm.
Some good fighting there. Um, then yeah,
Can I just point out? I want to go back to the plot quick because something I never understood is the entire opening. I get it. It's supposed to set up the relationship between Bond and 006. Was 006, was Trevelyan already a traitor? Because that whole thing never made sense to me. Did
I've
he
always
fake
assumed he
his death?
was.
Okay,
Um,
so the idea is he faked his. The idea is he faked his death there, getting shot,
mhm.
and then Bond blew the thing up
And burned him.
and burned it. Yeah, yeah. But I guess he would have needed Bond to escape, so he could tell like MI6, yeah, Trevelyan is dead. Because why else would you fake getting shot if you're gonna kill Bond anyway?
I don't know.
That
Don't
was
think
always just bitch.
another interaction I like is when Bond and M sit down and they just lay it out. She just lays it out that she doesn't like him.
Hmm.
Calls him a misogynistic dinosaur.
And the guy is like, oh my god, the guy looks like a young '90s guy, and it's just. I imagine Dalton sitting there, and that would make no sense with the dinosaur line.
Imagine Roger Moore sitting there
Oh, that obviously that would fit.
with a cane.
Yeah.
Connery wouldn't put up with it.
Oh no way.
Mister, I'm okay with the slapping women.
Yeah, he wouldn't take his orders from this M.
He wouldn't take orders from any woman.
Hmm.
That just be him. He was too busy being in Highlander 2: The Quickening
Hmm.
this
But
time.
yeah, with the whole M and the Moneypenny thing,
Mhm.
because he's like just lightly flirting with her, like the typical interactions, and she's like, "I could get you for sexual harassment at the workplace."
Mhm. It just wants to show that the 90s have strong women.
Yeah, and it literally doesn't matter at all because
No, in
by the
fact,
end of Die
Money
Another
Penny
Day,
does a 180.
yeah, by the end of Die Another Day, Moneypenny is masturbating to VR porn of Bond,
Oh, I forgot
which is a
about
real thing, and
that.
I'm not even exaggerating.
I forgot about that.
Hmm. Yeah. And
No.
M also gets more chill with him in the next movie already.
Yeah, that's funny. The novelization brings that up that they're cool now.
Yeah. She's like, I don't like your methods, like you're sexist the way you use women. And then in Tomorrow Never Dies, yeah, so there's this woman, we need information. How about you seduce her?
Yeah, because you've already been in a relationship with her, though.
Yeah, so that makes it fine.
Yeah, yeah, and we got to fight Steve Jobs in that one.
Hmm. And here we just fight a burn victim.
Burn victim that can fight. He's. I will say this. He's the second best Brosnan villain.
Probably. I because the best is obviously Steve Jobs.
Yes.
Yeah, I have kind of a soft spot for Elektra King, just because I like the twist female villain, and I think the material isn't great, but she's giving a good performance. So I think she's kind of underrated in that sense.
You mean
Sean
you
Bean
don't
in
like
this,
a North Korean man turning into an Aryan man
oh god,
with
no,
a diamond laser?
not Colonel Sun, Colonel Moon.
Stop. No.
Yeah, I know. But yeah,
No.
Sean Bean in this, he is fine. Like he's not doing a bad performance or anything, but
Mhm.
I don't know. He never was like ultra memorable to me. But I think that's just because his plan was so. Hmm,
It doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
It feels like they, you know what it feels like? It feels like they saw Die Hard and they wanted it to be like this big espionage plot, but no, it's about stealing money.
Oh, like trying to copy that little twist.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, yeah. I guess that's also similar to like the Goldfinger twist, where he's like, "Oh, you want to steal the money? No, I want to destroy it." And here he's like, "You want to destroy England? Yeah, kind of, but I also want to just steal money."
I'm pointing at Noah. I just realized this is audio only. So that me pointing at you isn't gonna translate well.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's Goldeneye. It's fine.
Not not much to say. It's fine, yeah. I would say it has badly aged. The effects certainly have. We didn't even
Oh
talk
yeah,
about,
that's every '90s movie that isn't Jurassic Park.
yeah,
But
we
but
haven't even talked about Brosnan's epic jump in the opening scene when he goes after the plane.
oh yeah, because Tomorrow Never Dies did it better.
Mm,
They redo the whole opening basically in Tomorrow Never Dies.
yeah, better.
Oh,
But
is Brosnan smoking in this one?
he isn't. That's the only thing they stuck with is him not smoking. Except Die Another Day, he's smoking a cigar.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, because it's the big 40th anniversary, so he has to smoke because he's Bond. But that's the only thing they stuck with. Because GoldenEye was like, oh, this is a new era, we're changing everything. The only change that stuck around was Bond being a non smoker.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Walther changed, but no, it got changed back.
Yeah, his sexism and the way he treats women, they say, oh, you're a dinosaur, but no, that's still around. Uh, he's still an alcoholic. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's more an alcoholic. By the time we get to
Mm.
the Craig era, he's Mr. Booze in that.
Yep.
Especially in No Time to Die, he's Mr. Drunky Puts.
Mm.
Drunky Pants.
Yeah, but GoldenEye, it's the Bond film of a generation, and I don't care much for it. And that's my controversial take.
It's the game. I mean, they remade the game and they made it a Call of Duty clone for the Wii
Mm.
U.
They
People,
didn't they make it with Daniel Craig in it?
yes, because James Bond Legends.
Yeah, is it canon? Is that what he was doing between Quantum and Skyfall?
Yeah, he was doing
He had his
GoldenEye.
own
He was doing.
Bloodstone.
Oh yeah, well that was an original game.
Yeah, did he only have one or two? I know he had Bloodstone.
Well, they made a Quantum of Solace game that's half a Casino Royale game,
Hmm.
and it's terrible. It's a horrible third-person cover shooter. That's the only one I've ever played. I know there Bloodstone was a thing. I remember being really excited for it, but you can't find it anywhere now. None of the
Hmm.
Bond games you can play on the PC anymore, unless you
Yeah,
have
it's a
a
shame.
disc copy.
Hmm.
Because I want to play 007 Legends and fight Jaws in space as Daniel Craig. I really want to do that.
Yeah, that
Or
would be
fight
fun.
Sanchez, because that's a boss. You fight Sanchez. You
Hmm.
fight
Blofeld.
Blofeld. They don't do on her. They don't do You Only Live Twice in that one, right?
No,
They
no.
should have.
They do Goldfinger, Majesties, License to Kill, Moonraker, Die Another Day.
Oh, that's right.
So
They
we
did
get
Die Another Day.
we get Daniel Craig in Die Another Day.
I just don't get why they didn't do You Only Live Twice. Just add a little more on, because that would have been fun. Or Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah, they did
Because
have
those
the
games are
extra
Call of
Skyfall.
Duty ripoffs. That's their point.
Hmm.
So you're not going to do Living Daylights. You're not going to do View to a Kill.
Mhm.
Moonraker's so weird because he never uses a gun in Moonraker.
Well, now he does.
This is weird. I guess they just wanted space for variety,
Probably.
and they want to Die Another Day for the sake of the Ice Palace.
And
Or,
because I think all the other Brosnan movies had video game adaptations, and this one didn't.
yes, they did. Bad ones, but they did.
Hmm.
Goldeneye is just considered, it's the best Bond game that's ever been made.
That's fine.
In my
What I
opinion, I do love Agent Under Fire.
hmm,
Agent Under Fire feels like the direct sequel to this, to the GoldenEye.
hmm.
In gameplay, it's one of the few first-person shooters they did. It's the only one of that era where Brosnan didn't do the voice or the look-alike, because he did it for Everything or Nothing and Nightfire. Actually, no, he didn't do the voice for Nightfire. He gave them permission to use his likeness, but in Everything or Nothing, that's the weird sequel to Die Another Day with Willem Dafoe as the villain, and it's about nanobot technology. You ever play that?
No, but now I want to watch Let's Plays.
It had
That
a
sounds
Bond
amazing.
song for it that charted.
Hmm.
That's how big a deal it was. It's a terrible song. Not as terrible as Madonna's song, but still bad.
I mean that fits with the Brosnan era. Oh, which we should point out, GoldenEye best opening song. It's not, to me, it's not even that memorable, but it's not unpleasant to listen to. Like
You don't like The
most of
World
them,
Is Not Enough by Garbage?
it's not terrible, but I always think it sounds exactly the same, like "Tomorrow Never Dies" by Sheryl Crow. Like I got them confused so many times,
Really?
and yeah, and to me, it's just like, eh, it's a song, but once it stops, I immediately forgot like how it goes. I don't know. It's
I'm a
not
big
bad, but to me,
Garbage
it's not
fan.
memorable.
I'm a
Hmm.
big Garbage fan. I sat through the second season of the terrible Terminator TV show because the what's her face from Garbage was a Terminator in that.
Hmm.
Spoilers to a show that's not worth watching. She turns out
Yeah,
to be
but
another T-1000, even though that was a prototype in Terminator 2.
Jeremy, really, we both are fans of garbage. We expose ourselves to it, every day
Oh
for
yeah.
content.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we have one more good one, Noah.
Hmm.
We have one
I'm
more
hyped
good
for that.
one, and then we're gonna be sifting through the sewage, and then we'll have another good one, and then we'll be sifting again.
Oh my god! But maybe even worse than the
Oh,
last two Brosnan ones.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't watched any of the other Brosnan movies yet for this. So, little inside baseball here. I watched all this back in July. Then I went on vacation. Then I started school. I had a week off this week. And I was like, we need to record. We just need to record some stuff and get it out there.
Hmm?
So, anyway, I have nothing else really to add.
Yeah,
This is
GoldenEye
fine.
is yeah, it's fine. It's aged. It's not the best one, and I think most nostalgia comes from the game, which is fine. But I don't get how people rank this as like the best Bond movie ever made, especially with that
It's
really terrible lead performance. The
it's
most other
people
actors
that
are
don't
fine in
like
it.
Bond movies like this movie.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's the same people that like the Craig movies.
Oh god.
because they don't like Bond movies.
This was designed to be like a crowd pleaser. Is this wait? This was designed to be the crowd pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the MCU Marvel movie of the Bond movies?
That's tough because Tomorrow Never Dies is very similar to this.
Hmm.
That feels like a popcorn movie. All the Brosnan movies feel like popcorn movies, to be
Oh
completely
yeah,
honest.
clearly
The
they
one
do.
that
But
feels the least like it is World Is Not Enough.
mhm.
That just feels schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we get to die another day, and that's what it feels like nonsense.
Hmm.
So yeah, they made their dark, gritty post 9/11 movie with Bond getting whipped in the nuts. So
Hmm.
anyway, that's all I have. Have a good one, everyone.
Goodbye.